Hi, everyone. My name is Benjamin Avila, and I am a business operations manager for Simplicity Consulting here in Seattle, Washington. And currently, I am consulting for Microsoft's Customer Experience and Success organization. And today, I am going to be taking you through how to identify gaps and needs in your business or organization, and how to successfully utilize resources to provide a complete solution for your business or your organization. More specifically, I'm going to be showing you an example of what I did here in my current consulting gig and provide you essentially with what I created with like the intake part of it, the input, the output, and how much it has actually saved time and resources for the customer experience and success organization. Now, before I get into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'll give you a little bit of context on why we built this application and the outputs and everything like that. So as for me, I've been with Microsoft for a very short time. I've been there for about 5 years, actually going on 6 years now. I first got my start in the Microsoft retail stores, got a wonderful internship with the mixed reality organizations, came on shortly after that as a full-time member, and then I jumped around the mixed reality organization working with customer feedback mostly, and funneling it to our product teams to make sure that the product was being um, revamped and improved in a customer-focused way. And then I was let go during a COVID reduction in force, and then shortly came back to this consulting gig here with Simplicity Consulting. And it's been a fantastic time. Like I said, I'm doing project portfolio management and implementing the tools and the resources behind that. And yeah, that's me. Going into what I did for this organization and how much it's impacted them. Before I show you the actual tool and the resources, basically what they were doing before all of these was tracking and inputting and gathering all the information around their fiscal year opportunities, their strategic opportunities going forward, inside of a PowerPoint template. And as you know, with 5 or 6 people inside of a PowerPoint template, things can get messy pretty quickly. And now just imagine with the 150 people that we were working with here. It got very messy. There was 3 big problems that came out of it. Actually, two, because two of them coincide with each other. But one of them was losing data, and version control was not succinct. So, one person would submit something, another person would submit something over that and possibly save at the same time or even at different times. And they just weren't sure what version was the most updated version. And then therefore also losing data, because if it wasn't the most updated version, they just lost all that data that they were gathering in the first place. And then the third kind of second problem that they had was there was no way to actually capture this, or they were capturing this information, but they weren't storing it in any type of like database or any type of list. So quickly identify those things, and going forward with any type of business operations manager, it's always good to identify the gaps right away. And don't be afraid to ask simple questions. Sometimes the simplest questions get the simplest answers, and it's a really, really easy way to identify what your business or your organization needs. Now, going forward, I'm going to show you the tool and resources that I made. First thing that we're going to be doing is going over the Power application that is the input to gathering this data for the fiscal year strategic opportunities. Oh, and before I go any further, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. The link right here is at the bottom. Yeah, feel free to connect with me at any time. I'm here to answer any questions or provide any type of link anywhere, and how to show you. And just feel free to reach out and yeah, we'll get going. So first things first. This is the Power application. Now, everything inside of here is going to be sample data. It has no connection to the actual opportunities that we're doing inside of my current consulting gig. This tool is just an exact duplicate of what we're actually using and the setup that we're going through. Now, this tool paired with a dashboard that I'm going to be showing you later, and then also in tandem with the entire fiscal year planning process, was presented as a complete solution by me for this organization. And today they use it. Actually, last month they just finished using it, and it was a huge win. Before, like I told you, they were doing a PowerPoint template and it was just getting really messy. During that time, it would take about 4 weeks, so an entire month, to get the planning process from start to finish and have their opportunities, approved and ready to go for their next fiscal year. Doing this process now, and how, this is our like third time, I believe, going through it. Now it only takes about 2 weeks. So we've definitely reduced the time, capacity, and resources by 50%. And I just learned at the end of the week that our leaders are actually doing this as a self-serve tool now. We used to have a whole bunch of people, a whole army of people in one room taking up a long time with throughout their schedules, just to get these things approved, and all the way up to our highest level of approval. Now they're just doing it by themselves. So a huge win all around with the time savings, making it basically so easy that they can do it themselves, and not having to take up anybody's time on their schedule. Now, getting into the tool, something that's really, really obvious right away is that when you're submitting a new opportunity, all this information you're going to see here is pretty much, actually, it's the exact same information that was being captured on the PowerPoint template. However, there's also some information on top of that we included, that another tool that we're using. I won't name any names on that one because that one's pretty deep inside the weeds. But basically, that tool did not have the capacity of capturing the information that we added inside of here as well. So it was just another way to make an educated decision and educated approvals for these fiscal year opportunities in a more, I guess, more complex way, just to make sure that we're actually doing what we need to do going forward. And just taking you through some of this, we do have, the title, of course, whether it's tented or not for people. So you can select specific people to be able to view and edit this versus the entire list of people that we have that has permissions for this tool to use. And of course, we can track via priorities, we can track via solution areas, whether or not it's a continuation program or a brand new program that we're thinking of. We can also align to our goals, measures of success, and our sponsors organization, and including all the people that are going to be involved up front with getting this opportunity off the ground and going and basically becoming a program or a project in our future. And as you scroll down, you get to the meat of the actual opportunity, where you get your vision, proposed solution, your measures of successes, explaining the ones that you've chosen up here. You have your benefits of this opportunity, and then what customer journeys are actually impacted, or the impact of deferring this opportunity, which, as again, this tool has a whole bunch more information, including, impacted functions and work streams, capacities, investment asked. This is one of the huge things inside of the other tool that I was talking about, that this information is not captured. So we never understood what opportunities was going to use what type of money, and where the money was going to be coming from, and how it was going to be dispersed, and the timing of all this investments. All of this is captured now, and we can see it in the dashboard that I'm going to be showing you here shortly. You have your impact and complexity. When you pop open these, you can select different type of things that are going to be essentially adjusting your priority in the background. People submitting do not know that, but that's the way we actually stacked ranked our priority of which ones we're actually going to be detailing and reviewing first. And then, just your normal notes and comments and help needed, which is all great. A lot of people use this, and it was very, very easy for them to use. One of the things that was also an issue with the PowerPoint template is that when you went back and edited that stuff, sometimes, like I said, it wasn't the exact same information. One thing that really took hold on this application here is we kept it in a database, so that when you went back, all the information was exactly the same. You can see it in this view here, and you can come back and you can edit it as much as you needed to, until that review date came to fruition, which is great and all. So yeah, this tool did a great job of capturing that information and keeping the information up to date, keeping it in a database, and as well as viewing this type of information and being able to read it in a really quick moment's notice. Now, for me, I think this is a little word heavy. It's kind of like an Excel sheet where everything is just kind of in rows and you see the information right underneath it. Not very visual, not very colorful, not very eye attracting, and doesn't really tell a story. This is just how we're keeping the information. So noticing that, I went ahead and built a Power BI dashboard that essentially would present all this information in a nice, succinct way, maybe using a couple pages, and breaking it down into different sections. So like this first page here, it's going to be just your summary. It's going to be how many intake items you have, which ones are net new and which ones are not, broken down by status, by priority, and by organization. One of the ways we actually review is broken down by these two things: what organization is responsible and what priority does it align to. And then down further, you just have a quick little table that shows you just some quick information about each one of these sample opportunities, right? So just a quick overview, really, really quickly. But like I said, we like to break things down and review them in a different way. That's where this priority analysis page came in. So this here is basically a priority analysis, right? Like the name says, but you can filter these by which priority is being reviewed at the moment. So like say priority number 2, we're going to be reviewing that today. We get everybody in the room, and then we can see that there's a total of 5 that we're going to be reviewing, which ones are net new, which ones are not, which organization and program type it's going to be talking about. And when you scroll down a little bit, you get to a little bit more nitty-gritty detail, including the asks and whatnot. When you scroll down, you have your investment asks, you have the ask by organization, total headcount by organization, and then also your proposed funding source, strictly on what is aligned to the priority number 2. You can see how many heads they're asking for, how much they're asking for budget-wise, program-wise, and tooling-wise, and then how much for their compensation, like bonuses or raises and stuff. And you can see how much they're asking for total, $7.63 million within this one priority, dispersed around these 5 different intake items. And here's just a little bit more information of how it's broken up in between each opportunity that you see here, right? So super simple, super easy to understand. One thing that we introduced to our LT was this drill through. The drill through itself goes into even further detail about which one you selected. So like me, myself, I selected the sample opportunity number 10. And basically it goes into further detail about the total investment ask, proposed funding source. A lot of this you can find on the other page, but it goes into details about the investment details, what impacted functions, the people that are involved, and then of course the cross-org or cross-role impacts that we're going to be seeing while this investment is taking off. So really simple, really easy. All of these pages made it super sufficient for our leadership to make an educated decision and an educated guess about what fiscal year opportunities we want to go towards in the next fiscal year. And yeah, so that kind of completes my presentation. Like I said, it's always good to have an input and an output when you come into a new organization or a new business, and you're looking to improve those business functions and those rhythm of businesses. Just be sure to have an input and an output if they're not there. Be sure to improve those if they aren't to the liking and the efficiency of what the business is wanting. And yeah. Basically, all of this is powered by Microsoft Power Platform, including Power Applications that you saw here, the Power BI dashboard that you see here. And there's some other things that are inside of this, like when we submit a new opportunity, somebody comes in and submits a brand new one, we get an email notification to whoever created it. We have a distribution group that is part of the intake owners and things like that. So that way we can get the ball rolling with this opportunity as soon as possible and get all the right meetings and all the right people involved right at the beginning, which always makes everything so much easier and so much faster. But yeah, again, this concludes my presentation. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. I'm always really quick to approve. And again, I am a business operations manager for Simplicity Consulting, consulting with the Microsoft Customer Experience and Success organization. Thank you. And yeah, like I said, feel free to contact me via LinkedIn.